Hi, good morning. Welcome to this small taster lesson politics. So my name is Joyce Martimo. I'm one of the main politics teachers at WQE. As you can hear, I've got a bit of an accent. I'm half Dutch, half Norwegian, but I've got a background in politics and a degree in politics. And it's a bit funny, but probably most of you are going to have me or John Belcher the first year in politics. If you're going ahead with politics, and it's a bit, a bit ironic that you will have a foreigner teaching you about UK politics. So welcome so much, and we are really looking forward to see you in September. Okay, so what's the plan for today? We literally have only 30 minutes. So, the plan is to give you a little bit of a taster of politics and kind of how politics lesson would look like. I'm going to start with a question first. So this is the plan in these 30 minutes. I want to kind of know what you're hoping to learn in politics. Then I'm going to give you kind of a quick course overview. And I'm going to also tell you, in order to succeed in politics or, to really enjoy the course, what's kind of expected of you. And then I will do a little kind of a small sample lesson where we're going to look at what is politics actually, why we want to do politics. You want to, join the course, but what is it exactly? So we're going to look at that. And then if we have any time at the end, you'll be able to ask me questions. Along when I go through things, feel free to use the Q&A if any kind of questions, pop up in your mind. But you can always email us as well. And, after the session, we're happy to answer any questions that you have got. So I'm going to start with a question here, and you can use the Q&A box. You can try to do that, or you can put your hand up if you're brave enough to speak. I assume you've had a bit of practice doing online lessons this last year with the pandemic. So perhaps some of you are really kind of confident with speaking online and so on. So if you want to share, and talk, then that's absolutely brilliant. So have a little think about, you've chosen to do politics, so you wanted to do politics from September on. What do you hope to get out of this A-level course? So what are you hoping to learn? Specific skills? Do you want to understand UK politics a bit better? Do you want to, understand what Boris Johnson is up to? Whatever it is, I would love to know. So if you can use the Q&A, please, or put your hand up if you would like to share. That would be great. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a second. I see we've got a lot of attendees here, 59, which is brilliant. Anyone who wants to share? No? Let's have a look at the Q&A. So Eden says here, understand the workings of the country better and learn more about the career path I would like to go into. So I'm assuming, Eden, that you might be thinking going kind of the politics direction. Well, I'll be able to tell you lots about it once you're in class. I took that route, and there's different ways that you can go into. So yeah, brilliant. Joshua, understand how we are governed and how we can have a say in our political system. Brilliant. One of the first actually chapters you're going to be working on is about political participation. How can you as a citizen actually participate in politics? So that will fit, that will really kind of help you, learning about and understanding that, Joshua. Veronica, I want to gain an understanding on how the government system works. Yes, and that's really interesting, isn't it? Because the last few years with Brexit, now we've had the pandemic, there's been lots of things going on, in the current Boris Johnson's government. It is actually really interesting to understand it all. So brilliant. Okay, any more here? Afzal here, I want a career in politics. Brilliant. There are many routes you can go. Neve, I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm interested in politics and want to get a better understanding. That is so fantastic. Oliver, perhaps even stand as an elected position. Absolutely brilliant. If I wasn't a foreign national, you know, I would have loved to be more engaged, you know, in politics as well. I used to be a member of a political party and active there in the Netherlands. It is actually really kind of interesting stuff. Joe, gain a better understanding of different political ideologies. Yes, in the second year, we are going to do political ideologies, which personally is my favorite topic. Brilliant. Let me take Fikri, I hope I'm saying your name right. I would like to learn more about our government and politics also. I would hope it could help me with a law career path. Absolutely, I've got a lot of students, of our politics students who are actually doing law alongside politics, and that works really, really well. Brilliant. So there's a lot of here. Some of you want to go into career, some of you want to have a better understanding of it. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so let me just share my screen again. Go back to so unfortunately not able to look at all your comments there, but yeah, it's nice to see a few names as well, so I know who will be there. Okay, so a quick course overview. What will you study? So Joshua, you were talking about you want to learn more about how we can participate in political life, and that is the first thing that you will learn about, as well as the concept of democracy and to what extent the UK can be seen as a democracy. You learn about the different British political institutions, so how Parliament works, the government. You also look at the judicial branch, the Supreme Court as well. So how do they operate together, and how do they actually safeguard and make sure that the UK remains a democracy? We're going to look at political ideologies. So I love this. So you're going to get a really good understanding of conservatism, socialism, and liberalism, which is the three core political ideologies. You're going to learn how, you know, the bit of the history behind it, but also the different strands within those ideologies. Yeah. So if we look at Margaret Thatcher, she was a very different type of conservative. Then then for instance Theresa May. We see a lot of kind of differences here. So you've got different types of conservatism, you've got different types of socialism, and I've even had students coming into my class saying I'm a socialist, and then go through the political ideologies, understanding them more, and actually saying, well, actually I'm more of a liberal socialist. You know, so that is really interesting political ideologies, and it will help you to form as well where you stand and where your kind of political values are. Then you will also learn about American politics, and that's in the second year. So both political ideologies as well as American politics is what you do in the second year. So this gives you a quick overview of what you do in the first year and then in the second year. So the first year is all about the UK political system. Yeah, so learning about those political institutions, which I just mentioned about, but also learning about political participation, how we can participate. And it's not about that we all need to be MPs. Yeah, we can participate through voting. Yeah, cast our votes at local elections, referendums, as well as the general elections, through pressure groups, through protests. Yeah, that's also a form of political activity. Think about the Black Lives Matter movement. That is politics. Currently, there's been quite a few protests around the police crime sentencing and court bill, which has seemed quite controversial and taking away people's freedom of expression and people's right to protest. So being engaged in those types of activities also is political engagement. So that is what you learn in the first year, political institutions and all the kind of engagement behind it. You learn about the electoral systems and so on. The second year, as I mentioned before, is those political ideologies. One thing to mention is, apart from those core political ideologies, you also get to choose as a class. We do a democratic vote, and you get to choose a non-core political ideology. And there are 5 to choose from, and that's feminism, anarchism, nationalism, ecologism, and multiculturalism. And this year I had one class doing feminism, one class doing anarchism, and one class doing nationalism. And that's really, really interesting. And they normally come out of doing that topic saying, oh, I completely misunderstood feminism, or I completely misunderstood anarchism. I thought anarchism was complete chaos. Or nationalism, you know, saying, oh, actually, nationalism has, you know, both a positive side, but it also has a darker side to it. So you get to choose as a class which one you want to do. And then you got the American political system you're learning about. You're learning about all the different components within the American system, how the presidential elections work, for instance, how bills come into law. So the lawmaking process in Congress. You also learn about the president as well, and learn about different presidents that we've had in America, and how powerful is the president actually is one of the questions you'll be looking at. Then there's a comparative opponent in American politics as well, where we compare the American system with the UK system. And overall, the course provides you with a really good foundation. You know, for those who just want to understand politics, it's brilliant, because with this, you'll be able to understand other political systems. You will understand the news, political news, much better. And for those who want a career path and go on and study politics, you have a foundation there, which will be very useful when you're doing a degree in political science at university level. Okay, how to succeed in politics. So what's really important, this is going to be different. Going from secondary school and going to college, it's like an in-between place between school and university. You've got more freedom. You have only 3 subjects. You're going to have around, to be around, you've got to have 14, 15 hours of lesson a week, and the rest is up to you. Yeah, and you can sit and not do anything, but that's probably not going to make you successful. You are expected to do 5 hours of independent study at home. The beautiful thing with politics is that the textbook, the theoretical bit remains, but there's always something happening in politics. So what's important is to keep up with the news. The BBC News app is brilliant. Watch Question Time, watch the Andrew Marr show on Sundays. That's my favorite. Listen to Radio 4 is something I do as well in the morning between 6 and 9 a.m. A lot of the ministers are being questioned there, are being interviewed, and it really helps you to keep up to date with what is happening in UK politics, especially. You're going to get work booklets, homework booklets when you come in September. You get, of course, a textbook as well. It's a big textbook, but it's very manageable in 2 years. The exams is all essay-based, so there's no coursework. So one of the things that is key for success is to write a lot of essays throughout the 2 years and become confident in writing political essays. And be curious, yeah? This is really a subject. This is such a great subject. When I was young, and still, I was interested in the world. I wanted to understand things. And this is what I see from your chat as well. You want to understand, and that is the key for to succeed, is to be curious and wanting to find out things, and being able to look at things from different perspectives as well. So be curious. If you're not interested in society and what's going on, then of course it's not going to be as interesting, because we will be talking on a weekly basis what's happening in news, what is going on, why is there a row between with Cummings in the government now, what is going on here, and how can we relate it to the theory? Okay, just going to see whether there's any questions here. So if you've got any questions popping up, feel free to put them in the Q&A. Okay, so what I want you to do is to let me know, I'm just checking the time, What is politics? So we're going to look at a lot of different keywords in politics and define them and describe them. So we're going to start with the first main one here. You want to study politics? What is politics? Yeah, in your own words, use the Q&A again and have a little think about it and write down your definition of what is politics? What is it? Great. I see there's question marks here. Sammy, I hope I'm saying that right. Joining two wills of people. I like that one. I like that one. That's definitely, you know, a good one there. I'm not going to say much more. Government activity. Yeah, it's definitely connected to that. Because of politics, yeah, we have created governments, we have created a governmental system in place. Government policy, we can say that government policy is the outcome of politics. It's a result of politics. Afzal, politics is about parliament and law mixed together. Again, I would say that that's the outcome of politics. When a bill turns into law, it's because something happened beforehand, which is politics, that then ended up creating that law there. Elizabeth, the way societies are run around the world. Yeah, again, I would say that's an outcome of politics. Jack, politics is holistically the convergence of and competition between numerous ideas on how governance should work. Yeah, so it's a competition between numerous ideas. I like that one. How large the state is and how much power it has over people, says Lucy. You guys are brilliant here. Really, really good. It's about the ways different people see the world and how they act upon that. Brilliant. Okay. You guys are excellent. You guys are gonna smash it in politics. I can see that already. Okay, so I'm sorry, I can't say it in English, but Aristoteles, as we say in Norwegian, is how we call him. So, you know, old Greek philosopher. Politics is an old thing. It has existed since we've had civilizations, since we've had societies. And some of you touched upon what politics actually is, because politics is all about conflict and disagreement. And what is this conflict and disagreement about that makes it politics? Well, it's the disagreement about how people should live, how power and other resources should be distributed. How should collective decisions be made? How should we leave the EU? Currently, there's a row with the EU, you know, it's about different ideas. There was someone who wrote that as well. It's about conflicting ideas. We've got different ideas on how things should be run. Yeah, some of us might feel that that resources should be distributed more equally. So we should have, for instance, higher taxation for those who earn more, and that money should trickle down again to those who have less. While others feel that no, if some people have worked really hard to get where they are, they shouldn't be paying higher taxes. You know, it's about individual freedom here. So this goes into the political core ideologies, which you'll be learning about in the second year. And it's all about different ideas of what's good for us, what's good for humans, and how a society is, can be the best way to govern society. Now, Aristoteles, sorry, made politics the master science. He said that politics is nothing less than the activity through which human beings attempt to improve their lives and create the good society. Politics, above all, is a social activity. It is always a dialogue and never a monologue. And if you look at this, you could argue that dictatorships, yeah, that's not politics, yeah, because there is no permission for different ideas to exist and for a dialogue to exist. Aristotle's Aristoteles, sorry, I can't say it the English way. Man is by nature a political animal. Okay, so if politics is about conflict and disagreement, then tell me, use the Q&A again, or if you want to put your hand up, I would love to, be able to hear your voices. What are the current disagreements going on in UK politics or globally, or, what are the current disagreements? What is going on? Tell me. Are there any conflicts, any disagreements that are currently happening that you are engaged in, that you are interested in, because it's something that perhaps is close to your heart, or something that you're passionate about, or anything? Please share. We got Jesperberg, Russia here by Theo. Oliver, COVID measures between backbenchers and the government. Yeah, we've seen a lot of that, haven't we? Post-Brexit agreements. Yeah, that's, we got this sausage war going on at the moment. Anti and pro vaccinations, brilliant. Yeah. Developed countries giving poor countries COVID vaccines. Yeah, I mean, there is a vaccination war going on here, isn't there? The level of protest that is allowed, yeah, that's currently, if you looked at the BBC News today, there was an article on the police crime sentencing and court bill, and the disagreement on parts of that bill that's got to do with being able to freely go out and protest, that is, seen as actually limiting people's freedom of expression. John Bercow defaulting to Labour, yeah, that was in the news just a few days ago. That was interesting, definitely something I would love to talk to you about, especially when we do political ideologies. It would be, interesting to look at that. The running and funding of the NHS, yeah, that's a matter of disagreement. That is a matter of politics. COVID vaccinations, conflict between US and Russia, absolutely. And that will probably continue for a long time ahead. Traffic light system, yeah, absolutely. Dominic Cummings and Boris Johnson, yeah, there's been quite a bit of row going on there, and that's definitely something we're going to touch upon when we look at the executive government and special advisors. Brilliant. Nationalization versus privatization of steel railways and the NHS, yeah, brilliant. Israel ethnically cleansing Palestinians, yeah, that's of course, global politics. That was actually my thesis was around the Israeli and Palestinian conflict, which is probably going to go on for a very, very long time. That is not going. That disagreement is not going to be resolved very easily. Turkey and US disagreements on militant groups in Syria. Yeah, brilliant. Black Lives Matter. Brilliant. Fantastic. You guys know a lot. That is really, really great. Okay. I'm going to ask you to do Just thinking we've got 5 minutes left, so I'm going to do a little activity with you. So I just put down a few pictures of current conflicts. You got Joe Biden and Putin, you know, of course, there are tension between them. Conflict within number 10, you've got Dominic Cummings here in the background. And then you've got the sausage war, as I call it, between the UK and the EU. But I want to see how much disagreement there would be among you when you come into class, because I can tell you already now that for sure you're going to disagree on things, and that makes for the best discussions in class. And we often do. At least I love debates. I think you can learn a lot about it. You can learn about respecting and listening to other people's views. You don't need to agree, but it's about understanding each other. So we are going to do a lot of debates. If you will, you know, if I will be teaching you, we will debate a lot. I want to hear about you guys, and I want you to use the hand up, hand down, raise your hand button. So I want you to put your hand up. I'm going to tell you a few kind of motions, debating motions. And if you agree with the motion, I want you to put your hand up. If you disagree, you leave your hand down. And that's just to see, you know, whether there is any kind of disagreement politics going on among, you know, you guys. So the first one is the voting age should be lowered to 16. So if you agree with this motion, I want you to put your hand up. Okay, so there's a lot of agreement here. Yeah. Okay, so put your hand down. So that one tends to be quite, you know, you got the odd few that normally disagrees on this. Okay, next one. Voting should be mandatory. You should, you know, you got the right to vote. You have to vote at all elections in the UK, and you will get fined if you don't vote. So this is like in Australia. Belgium as well has got mandatory voting in place. So put your hand up if you agree. There should be mandatory voting in the UK. I mean, the argument could be in the UK, if we look in the UK, actually what we see is, see here, not everyone agrees, but there are a few people that agree here. Interesting. That's great. We will have a debate about mandatory voting in class. Okay, next one. Climate change is the greatest threat facing humanity today. Do you agree on that? So put your hand up if you agree. That is brilliant. I'm so happy to see, you know, all you young people, you know, thinking that. Actually, I think it's our generation, my generation, and all the generations that have, you know, really not taken care of the planet for you who are, you know, going to be in leading positions after us. Brilliant. Okay, next one. So this might be a bit more controversial one. Smoking should be banned completely. Should it be banned? Hands up. Or should people have the freedom to choose themselves? See here, there is, you know, you can see that there is a difference in opinion here. We have 17 putting their hand up. So it'll be interesting to find it in class, you know, what the reasoning would be behind of not banning it. It is unhealthy, right? Okay, the UK is worse off now that we have left the EU. How many of you agree with that? Wow, about half, yeah. But you can see more people agreed with this motion than the previous one. So there's always going to be, you know, there's always going to be this disagreement, and none of you have, you know, you haven't completely as a group agreed on anything completely here. Okay, next one, there should be a cap on how much football players can earn. They earn way too much. We've got the European Championship going on at the moment, and I think if we consolidate what everyone is making in terms of income, it would be, you know, enough to feed a whole country, if not several countries. Perhaps I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but that's quite a lot of you. Yeah, 39. And the last one, every citizen should be mandated to perform national public service. Oh, oops. I keep pressing the wrong. Yeah, so less people agreeing on this. Okay, brilliant. I don't know whether there's any questions. I've literally finished at 30 minutes and managed to do this. And that was really kind of a short session. And in class, it's, you know, it's going to be much more dynamic, you know, and being to have a proper dialogue with you guys. Because remember, hopefully you've learned from this little taster session that politics is a dialogue. It's not a monologue. And it's been perhaps a little bit of a monologue here because we're doing it on Zoom, but it is a dialogue, and it is about conflict. It's about disagreement and working out together compromises. Yeah, or sometimes one side will win, like the Brexit side won the referendum. So yeah, so it's lovely to at least have you here. I've at least, you know, got to see a few names here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in September. Any questions, feel free to email us. Yeah, you can email admissions and they can pass it on onto me or John. So yeah, any questions, do get in touch. Yeah, so I'm just double checking no questions here. So have a lovely day, guys, and hopefully see you in September for some good debates. Yeah, bye everyone. Bye-bye.